and the opportunity ahead of us as a company over the next 5, 10, and 15 years is immense.
I don't want to pick on the e-tron, but it's, there's room for improvement. So, it's wrong. All right. If you speak French, that's quite funny. The environmental pressure to move away from fossil fuels is getting stronger and stronger. Basically mad to buy a fossil fuel-powered car at this point, because its long-term resale value will be less and less.
I would just say that the team is super motivated by that goal, and
yeah.
we think we can achieve it, and we are laser focused on achieving it.
Yeah, actually, I've had a number of meetings with Drew. We're like, bang the table, damn it, we've got to achieve this.
It can be done.
It can be done.
Intention, intelligence, and invention.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Tesla Throwback Thursday. Today we're going to take a look at the 2019 annual shareholder meeting. This will be 1 year removed from when I actually purchased a Tesla, and before the stock went bananas and had its 5-to-1 stock split. I feel it's very important to know where Tesla has been if you do decide to invest in any way, shape, and form in the company in the future. Promises made, promises broken, pivots. Without further ado, let's get to it.
What I'd like to do is first welcome Robin Denholm, our chair.
And welcome and good afternoon to everybody joining us here live in the auditorium here, but also online. So following the formal part of the presentation, or some might say the more normal or boring part of the presentation, Elon will join us to actually go through a presentation as well. So after the voting, as I said, Elon will give a presentation about Tesla and answer questions. So the Q&A is always a highlight of the stockholders meeting. But I would like to start today's meeting by thanking you, our investors, our shareholders, for the tremendous support that you've given Tesla, not just over the last 12 months, but also over the last many years. Without you, the progress that we're making as a company towards the mission of moving the world towards sustainable energy would not have happened. When you're changing the world and many industries in the process, you need to have a certain amount of intestinal fortitude as an investor. And when I speak to many of you, our shareholders, you have that in spades. So thank you. And when I sit back and look at what the company has achieved, in particular over the last year, with GAAP profitability for the second half of 2018, and over 245,000 vehicles delivered, 245,000. 5 years ago, that would have just been a dream. Over 1 gigawatt hour of energy storage deployed in 2018. Breaking ground in Shanghai, and many, many other achievements. I also take stock at this time of year to think about what we've achieved together over the last 5 years and over the last 15 years, that many of you have been part of that journey as well. It's truly astonishing what the company has achieved. It's also easy to lose sight of that on a day-to-day basis. There are many highlights to come, and the opportunity ahead of us as a company over the next 5, 10, and 15 years is immense.
What?
And I want to thank you all for being resilient shareholders and look forward to speaking to many more of you in the months and years to come. And so now I'd like to reintroduce Jonathan Chang to go through the formal part of today's meeting. Thank you.
I am the general counsel at Tesla, and this starts now I think Robin referred to it as the boring part of the meeting. Such forward-looking statements represent our views as of today, should not be relied upon thereafter, and we disclaim any obligation to update them after today. With that, please welcome our CEO, your CEO, Elon Musk.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think we've got a lot of interesting news. I think it's going to be, very, well received. It's been a hell of a year, but a lot of good things are happening, and I think it's worth going over those things. Model 3 The last 4 quarters is actually outselling all competitors combined in the U.S. So all of them. It's the highest revenue car in the U.S. and best-in-class performance. And it's actually the best-selling car by revenue including high-volume cars like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. That's remarkable that an electric vehicle is the best-selling, highest revenue car in the country. I think 10 years ago, nobody would have believed it. And thanks to the hard work of the Tesla team, this is a result. It's great. In class, the Model 3 is outselling the Mercedes C-Class, the BMW 3 Series, the Audi A4, S4, and the Lexus combined. That's in units. The difference is higher in dollars. We also have the most energy efficient cars in the world. So this is the EPA miles per kilowatt hour. And you can see the Model 3 is at around 4, and then it ranges off to the right. I don't want to pick on the e-tron, but there's room for improvement. So, Etron. If you speak French, that's quite funny.
I don't speak French, but I do have Google. Oh my. Well, that's one hell of an oversight, but I guess aptly named?
So the new Model S is a 370-mile range, and you can go. We actually did this with Motor Trend. They drove nonstop from the Bay Area to LA. So it was, admittedly, that was downhill, sort of. Not really. It feels downhill, but it's not. And then the new Model X range is 325 miles, despite it being a large SUV. It's worth noting that no electric car has exceeded the range of the first Model S that we came out with in 2012. Resisting the temptation to pick on competitors, I will not do that. It's a testament to the Tesla engineering team to be able to have made a car 7 years ago that has still not been exceeded in range. So we get this question a lot, and it's. I want to be clear, there is not a demand problem. Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I want to be clear, there is not a demand problem. Okay. It's absolutely not. Sales have far exceeded production, and production's been pretty good. Model 3 market potential, when we see trade-ins, 63% of the trade-ins are non-premium cars, which means people are trading up to a Model 3.
Guilty as charged.
12% are mid-sized sedans, 25% other premium vehicles. But it's just interesting that the supermajority, essentially, of the cars that are being traded in are non-premium. So it's just this is a lot of potential. When people look at total cost of ownership, the actual total cost of ownership, because electricity is so much cheaper than gasoline, and the maintenance costs are much less. You don't need an oil change or filter change. You basically never need to change the brake pads because of regenerative braking. The actual operating costs of an electric car are much less than a gasoline car.
Bang for your buck, there is no better option. I was done with gas. Little did I know I'd be done with routine maintenance like oil changes and surprise maintenance fees. Once you make the transition, you won't go back.
Yeah, we keep putting gems on it, like the Fart app, of course. That's one of my favorites. The Autonomy Investor Day, that I think was well received. The Tesla Full Self-Driving computer is literally 20 times faster, or 21 times faster than the NVIDIA system that it replaces. So, in fact, I think it's basically financially insane to buy anything except an electric car that is upgradable to autonomy. It's just nuts. You can see one country after another is putting dates on banning gasoline and diesel cars. The environmental pressure to move away from fossil fuels is getting stronger and stronger. Basically mad to buy a fossil fuel powered car at this point. because its long-term resale value will be less and less. And then it's also important to buy a car that is upgradable at least to full self-driving, because a car that cannot do self-driving will also be worth not very much. If you buy a gasoline car that's not full self-driving, this is like riding a horse and using a flip phone. I'm like, hello. You want to look towards the future and say, where are we headed? Clearly we're headed towards electrification. Clearly we're headed towards autonomy. And so that's the kind of car you want to get.
Your mother right. You have to ask yourself, where are we going to be in the future? With the dawn of the smartphone, you need that thing to do the basic function, and that's to receive and make calls. But you don't need a smartphone to do that. You could use a flip phone. Shout out to the Motorola Razr. Hey, hey. But the features and functionality of the smartphone makes having a flip phone archaic. Why intentionally put yourself at a disadvantage? That's the same thing with a Tesla. Any internal combustion engine or any other electric vehicle for that matter can get you from point A to point B. That is the basic feature of what you want those cars to do. But the features and functionality of a Tesla makes those other vehicles feel archaic. Not a lot of people realize this, but I imagine back in 2008, not a lot of people realized that about the smartphone. These are computers on wheels. Just like a smartphone is a computer in your pocket.
This is the biggest segment of vehicles in the world is the mid-size SUV. It's 2.5 times bigger than the Model 3 market. And so we think probably demand for the Model Y will be greater than the S3 and X combined. We expect to hit volume production towards the end of next year. Internally, we're aiming for sooner than that, but we want to have some margin on that timing. Still find it crazy that we have this Gigafactory. That used to be just rocks. JB and Drew. Hey guys. Actually, you guys want to come up and join for a sec? I remember when we were like doing the calculations for battery capacity, and we're like, we need more batteries than all of Earth is currently producing. Unless we build this thing, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, maybe you tell the story.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
good to see everyone. Hello. It was a pretty crazy story, and Elon and I were just talking about it recently, and it's sort of amazing how some really simple kind of napkin math could lead to such a kind of outrageous, result. I mean, as you just said, we basically did the quick math and looked at, okay, we're going to build, so many 100,000 cars per year and this many kilowatt hours per car, therefore, 35 gigawatt hours of cells per year. Well, that's a huge number, and it was actually more than the entire world was producing for all applications, cell phones, computers, cars, everything. So, that was what kind of shocked us and said, wow, we this isn't going to work unless we build an entire new facility to solve this ourselves.
I'll just do it myself. This is the type of vertical integration that sets Tesla apart from everyone else. We need this, we need that. I'll do it myself.
Yeah, we're probably not going to get all the battery factories in the world, so therefore we better build this. It's the lowest cost per kilowatt hour. It's half of all global EV battery production. So if you add up all the all electric vehicles in the world, all the batteries that they use, that's approximately equal to what we make at the Gigafactory.
Maybe just a quick shout out to the whole team out there and the team that's made that happen. I mean, it's been such an epic project. I mean, as you said, starting with dirt, literally dirt in the desert, to now the biggest battery factory in the world, and it took thousands and thousands of people to do it. Kevin had a huge part in that, sitting there. So yeah, it's pretty amazing watching that happen, and I feel super proud to be part of that team.
We're making good progress on the Gigafactory in Shanghai. If you've watched the progress online, it gets followed with in excruciating detail. I think the number of drones flying over the factory is pretty nutty. We need air traffic control. But the shell of the building is basically done at this point. I think this might be it's the fastest large factory construction that I've ever seen. And maybe there's something faster, but I'm not aware of it because it was amazing. This will be obviously extremely important to our future because China is the largest electric car market in the world. It will cost less to make the car in China, so we'll be able to have a more affordable car for the China market.
The largest battery electric vehicle market in the world. Build that factory in China, imprint your battery electric footprint on the people over there while having a main export hub to the Asian Pacific region. Shanghai is the fulcrum of Tesla's world domination.
So this is extremely important to Tesla's future. Gigafactory Europe, as you can see, we've made great progress here. We just put this picture in like literally 5 minutes ago. This is deep planning here. This is not the actual place that it'll be. This is a generic picture of Europe.
People are going to try and reverse engineer exactly where that picture
Yeah, I'm
is.
sure people could figure it out.
Beautiful scene.
Yeah, lovely.
Factory there.
We're still looking at what the right place is to put Gigafactory Europe. And it also makes sense to have a car factory at least on each continent. This is a wise move.
Giga South America? Giga Africa? Probably not anytime soon, but stay tuned.
Continue to expand, I think, our activity in the U.S., but having to not pay tariffs and have a really long delivery chain and high transport costs will make the cars a lot more affordable to people in Europe and in China. And then Tesla Energy, we're looking at probably at least doubling energy storage growth for Powerwall and Powerpack compared to 2018. Internally, we have a bigger goal than that, but I think we can at least double it. We're installing the solar roof in 8 states. We're about to complete version 3 of the solar roof. So this is actually quite a hard technology problem to have an integrated solar panel or solar cell with a roof tile and have it look good and last for 30 years. I'm really excited about version 3 of solar roof. So you can have potentially a great roof with better economics than a normal, fairly cheap roof and your utility bill. So if you can have like basically a better product at a lower price, that is obviously will take off like crazy. So, but it is a hard problem to solve. Like many other companies have tried to solve this problem and they have not succeeded. But I think I'm feeling pretty good about this. You guys want to say anything about that?
I would just say that the team is super motivated by that goal, and
Yeah.
we think we can achieve it, and we are laser focused on achieving it.
Yeah, actually, I've had a number of meetings with Drew. We're like, bang the table, damn it, we've got to achieve this.
It can be done.
It can be done.
Intention, intelligence, and invention.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Intention, intelligence, invention. I like it.
Maybe we should actually introduce Drew properly.
Yeah, actually, sure.
Sorry, we kind of forgot to do that.
It's-
Drew has been, this is your 14th year at Tesla, so
Yeah.
Drew is not exactly a stranger. So Drew joined my team when, it was a tiny team. There were like 5 or 10 of us or something, a couple years after the company got started. And, he's been kind of, my right-hand person, involved in almost every key initiative that I've done at the company through that whole tenure, and I think you're super amazing.
I agree.
So I do think you guys should see more of Drew, and you've been involved in a lot of stuff and are still leading a lot of key initiatives for us. So anyway, introduction to Drew.
Thank you, JB. Super glad to be here, talk about a lot of our core technology areas that we've been focused on over the years, and just thanks for introducing me, JB. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Drew and his team have been really key to a lot of the powertrain innovations, battery innovations, and solar roof, and a number of other things. It's always a pleasure having those engineering discussions, I have to say.
Mutually, the feeling's mutual.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Love you too, bro.
So awkward. Socially awkward when you're having this kind of interaction in front of thousands of people and then online. Everyone will be critiquing this interaction and could cause tension, all kinds of stuff. Very delicate minefield to navigate. Humor is the best way to go.
We got the version 3 supercharger. It was actually like the scope of technology that is advancing at Tesla is really massive on many fronts. 75 miles in 5 minutes capability, a 250 kilowatt system. I'm sure a lot of you have used the superchargers before, and they've typically been anywhere from 75 kilowatts to, if you've used one recently, you might have gotten up to 140 kilowatts. But that's the version 2, and then version 3 is 250 kilowatts. I'm not sure who it was, but tested like what car could charge the most number of miles in half an hour. It was the Model 3. Really, like the two critical factors we've found for sales in any given region, and they're really obvious actually, are is there a service center within reasonable distance, and are there superchargers on all the routes that you'd like to take? Basically, people are just like sensible. They're like, okay, you need to service your car, and you need to be able to travel conveniently on long distance routes. So wherever we've got that, our sales are good. And we also have to have good consumer financing and make sure pricing is competitive. But it's as soon as people see that, they buy the cars. It's pretty straightforward. And the key is, like, when you buy a car, you're buying freedom to travel. You must have the superchargers, you must have high-speed charging, and then if the car breaks, it must be fixed quickly. I'm actually really excited about our mobile service, and we're adding things like bumper repair and minor collision repair. So, if I look at the things that most trouble customers, it's like things like collision repair taking an eternity, and then a third-party body shop charging an arm and a leg after taking an eternity. Moving a lot of the body repair in-house at Tesla, and then even providing it on mobile service. And we just did our first bumper replacement from mobile service van. So like typically collision repair can take weeks or months. In this case, it took less than an hour. That's right, cyberpunk truck, yeah. I think the product roadmap for Tesla is incredibly exciting. With obviously Model Y coming fairly soon, about a year or so. And then the pickup truck, which we hope to unveil hopefully this summer. We spent a lot of time on designing the pickup truck. So it's, I think it's going to be great, I think it's the coolest car I've ever seen, to be frank. I think not everyone may share that opinion, but worst case scenario, we'll build a normal looking truck. Yeah, no problem. We know what those look like. So this is something that'll, if you're driving it down a road, just look like it came out of a sci-fi movie. So it'll be really cool, I think. And then the Semi, which we look forward to getting into production, hopefully towards the end of next year. A lot of this also is dependent on our ability to manufacture a lot of cells and make a lot of battery packs. So there's not much point in adding product complexity if we don't have enough batteries. then it's complexity but without gain. So we're matching the product rollout according to the scaling of battery production.
No point in pulling out the Model 2 prematurely if you can't get the batteries for the demand that will be there. We're talking about millions and millions of Cybertrucks, millions upon millions of Model 2s potentially. But if you don't have the batteries, there's no point in rolling them out, or wait times will be blown out to 2, 3, 5 years. Giga Nevada and all the other battery plants that they've established over the recent years are crucial to the product roadmap coming out in a timely manner. They have ideas, tons of ideas. They need production.
That's really the main limiting factor. And then as we scale battery production to very high levels, we actually have to look further down the supply chain. We might get into the mining business, I don't know. Maybe a little bit at least.
Shout out to the Corpus Christi facility. Trust me, they ain't done yet.
We'll do whatever we have to ensure that we can scale at the fastest rate possible. To this point, we are going to have a battery and powertrain investor day hopefully this summer, before the end of the year for sure. If I were an outside investor, I would really focus on two things. What is the timeline to full self-driving, and what is your plan to scale battery production and get the cost per kilowatt hour lower? Those are it's basically battery cells and full self-driving.
Take note, folks. Batteries. Gotta have batteries if we want different product lineups, if we want to transition the entire world to a sustainable energy economy. And then the other half of that equation is software. The progression of FSD is crucial to Tesla's evaluation, which is barely being calculated today by Wall Street. The folks over there in ARK Invest, Kathy Wood, they might have the most aggressive rate at which FSD will be accomplished. But other than that, many people believe that they're on the wrong path, that Waymo, Cruise, they're the ones that are going to get the lion's share of the robo-taxis. But Tesla's vision, literally and figuratively, has changed the way many in the industry, battery, software, think about where they're going to be going in the future.
Those are the two strategic things that are of most importance.
Looks like class is running a little bit long, so we're going to break this off into the presentation phase and the question part of the annual meeting. Tune in next Thursday as Elon and crew answer some questions online and in person about where the company is headed after 2019. That's all Professor Hustle has for you today. Meet me in my office hours in the comments below. Be easy. Peace.